everybody, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we're the Movie Bros.
Bringing you honest movie reviews you can trust.
And today we drove all the way out to
Scotts Valley
to Cinelux movie theater so we could check out New Mutant. So I think we should make this kind of quick.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll give it the usual credits. All right.
Okay.
So this was directed by Josh Boone, stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Maisie Williams as two mutants. Before we get into the story, I want to know, do you think, was this the start of a new... So obviously the mutants are from X-Men.
Correct.
And they give some nods to that in the movie. Do you think that this is going to be a launching point for them reincorporating the X-Men back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
So that's a great question. This movie was shot in 2017, was supposed to be released in 2018, but for whatever reason, they decided to continue to push the movie release of this back.
Okay.
I think I read that it was supposed to be released after or near when Logan was released. So kind of like a darker side of
the X-Men. Which makes sense. Same with that.
Yeah. And so essentially the story follows 5 young mutants who are discovering their powers, but they're kind of trapped in a hospital while they try and learn how to control their powers. That's kind of like the overview, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously the director knew what he was doing when he did this. It definitely rings as The Breakfast Club meets like horror movie hospital. Like, I mean, that's kind of like this weird blending of genres that happened. You know, it starts with 5 teens who don't really know each other and don't really particularly like each other to some degree. And they kind of unify against their oppressor. And in doing so, they all kind of become friends in a small family, so to speak.
Yeah, and then they help each other out throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But what did you think about the movie?
You know, I will say that that little nod about when it was supposed to be released makes sense. Maisie Williams does seem especially young in this.
Absolutely.
I thought the movie was okay. I wasn't in love. I mean, I was kind of interested because I have wanted them to... I loved the X-Men growing up. I wanted them to kind of start incorporating them into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I kind of hope that this is one that they might leave behind, though, and choose a fresh launching point. Because while some of the jobs by the actors were good, I mean, their acting quality was admirable for the parts that they had, the script wasn't that great.
Yeah, I feel like the movie was lacking in a lot of areas. It didn't have a really good storyline. I feel like that's probably the reason why it sat on the cutting room floor for so many years, is because they were trying to figure out how to make the story a little cohesive. It seemed disjointed in a lot of ways. And I was just hoping for more. And honestly, I was glad that the movie was short.
Yeah, 90-minute runtime, definitely could not have eked out any more with this one. You kind of almost know from the get-go that, like, things are amiss. I mean, there's the sense of mystery that the story tries to create by not telling you immediately that they're kind of being held captive is really just falls short. I mean, I guess they do away with that kind of mirage pretty quickly, but like it's not a very compelling story.
Yeah, to kind of circle back to what I said before, I felt like the story was lacking. I really want to be more critical of it, and I kind of feel like this movie was something that they've had laying around for a while. We're in the middle of a pandemic. They're like, hey, let's just release it now, and we'll be done with it, and have it off our plates, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. And I honestly think that that's what this was. It was just kind of a ploy. There's not a lot of movies, not a lot of competition, so let's put this movie out. Yeah. So people have something to see right now.
I mean, yeah, there's really not a lot to touch on. I thought some of the action was cool. It was, I noticed actually in the beginning that Marvel didn't credit themselves.
I saw Marvel credit.
You did? Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just glimpsed over that. But yeah, it didn't really... It had some of the good effects. I will say the special effects were quite good. I liked some of the powers. They were a little bit unique and not your typical superhero or even necessarily your typical mutant powers. Like all of these seem pretty different from what we've seen outside of Flame Boy, is what we're gonna call him.
Yeah, I think we don't want to give. Obviously, we don't want to give any of it away.
But like,
I don't know. What did you like about
the main two characters? So I liked the main two characters. I thought both their powers were cool. They're a little bit unique. It kind of played in some different realms. I think it showed promise for what the X-Men could bring to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I also like that they've tried to, if this was kind of meant to come out around the same time as Logan, I like that they're experimenting with doing maybe some movies that don't like necessarily feed into the main like kind of like ultimate or many movie arcing storyline like the Infinity Saga, but ones that play into maybe a little darker side of the universe could be interesting to me. This one fell pretty short, but
yeah, I feel like this was kind of one of those movies where they were trying to do something different, like Deadpool.
Yes.
But really missed the mark.
yes.
Like, didn't even hit the board, missed the mark. And I mean, I would say, don't waste your time paying to see it.
I would not see this one in theaters. You know, if it becomes a free watch at some point,
on
and
Netflix
you
or
find
something,
the genre interesting, I think then, I mean, it's 90 minutes of your time. It's not the worst, but like this is a very forgettable one that I will never see again.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this should have been a direct to DVD kind of direct to streaming service movie. I don't have too much more to say about it.
No, me either. I think we should just
Let's just get to scoring it. I'm gonna go first.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like what you guys may not remember is that we don't actually talk about the movie at all to each other until we're in front of the camera trying to tell you what we think about it. At the end of the day, I think this movie had a lot lacking. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 10.
Wow, I think that actually might be the lowest score
ever
on camera for us yet. Yeah. We did see one movie when we very first were going to start doing this. Gretel and Hansel. I don't know, something. It was one of those.
It's one that never came out.
Yeah. That
we never released.
That would receive lower scores. But anyways, I think that I liked some of the acting. There were elements of the story I enjoyed. I always kind of am a sucker for the superpower type movies. That being said, the storyline wasn't great. I don't want to see more of this in the universe. Like I said, I hope they kind of just eschew this one and move past it and like start things anew. So I'm going to give this one a 5.5. It's a little bit higher, but I still would not pay to see this again.
Yeah. So you guys heard it here on the Movie Bros. Wait to see New Mutant.
Yeah, or skip it entirely. That's totally viable.
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Yeah. By the way, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate it. If you have anything or any comments or any movies that we should see, let us know and we'll be happy to go see them.
All right. Movie Bros out. See you guys on the next one.